as for the question, would I recommend the book? Absolutely, it was an easy read. It was a fun little psychological thriller that just didn't seem to overcomplicate things. And although I thought the book was going to go in one direction, it went in a totally different way. Hi, my name is Terry Westwell and welcome back to Panic at the Book Club. This week we're discussing The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. Also, I'm still recovering from the flu, so what says comfy like my pyjamas and my Toy Story headband. If you'd like to take part in this online book club, you can find out more information on how via the channel's intro video. We list the next 4 books down below and on TikTok along with the discussion dates. That way you can choose what book best suits you and the time frame to read it in. We also accept your book feedback in a wide manner of ways. Post your comment below a video, send me a voice note, or even send me a short video clip of you discussing the book. Alternatively, you can just send me a direct message on Instagram. Every day, Millie cleans the Winchesters' beautiful home from top to bottom. She collects their daughter from school and cooks a delicious meal for the whole family before going up to eat alone in her tiny bedroom up on the top floor. Millie tries to ignore how Nina just seems to make a mess just so that she can watch her clean it up. How Nina seems to tell strange lies about her daughter, and her husband, Andrew, just looks more and more broken every day. But as she looks into Andrew's handsome brown eyes, full of pain, it's hard not to imagine what it would be like to live Nina's life. The walk-in closet, the fancy car, and the perfect husband. Millie only tries on one of Nina's pristine white dresses once, just to see what it's like. But Nina soon finds out, and by the time Millie realises that her attic bedroom door only locks from the outside, it's way too late. But Millie reassures herself. The Winchesters don't really know who she is, and they don't know what she's capable of. Just your friendly spoiler alert, if you haven't read this book yet, I would suggest going and doing that first, because beyond this point there will definitely be spoilers. The book had some pretty short chapters, so it was great for reading before bed or for anyone who doesn't like putting a book down mid-chapter. It was super simple and easy to read. I think a lot of psychological thrillers tend to have a ton of characters and a lot of stuff going on, probably because it does help build suspense and mystery, but despite The Housemaid being such a straightforward and simple narrative with very few characters, it did a fantastic job of doing those things, and also it built those characters up very well. I really liked Millie. I think from the very beginning the book did a very good job of making you feel connected to the character. I mean, I felt terrible for her at the very beginning of chapter 2 when she's explaining just how desperate she is for a job, how she just can't eat another sandwich in her car. And maybe this says more about me, but I felt that. It was that scene where Millie had been rejected from a possible job with Munch Burgers, and although I think the moment was written really well, within 2 minutes she'd received the phone call from Nina offering her the housemaid job. I just felt that it didn't have to be so immediate. The author could have left us in that moment for a little while longer. I just thought that that was written quite well, and it was used as an opportunity to get to know Millie and connect with what it was that she was going through. It just ended so abruptly. Now, Millie is not the most intelligent character ever. I mean, she would go out to talk to the gardener after establishing that he's probably Italian, and instead of Googling the word for hello, she proceeds to try her luck with Spanish. Also, she fell for the husband way too quickly. But I think that was kind of part of it. It made you kind of feel protective of Millie. Pretty early on, you do know that Millie has a criminal record. You just don't know the details. But Millie seems innocent enough, and I felt bad for her. My relationship with Nina was a bit of a roller coaster. Like, she did such a good job of acting nuts, and It wasn't until everything was revealed that I just, fair enough. I can't say I blame her. I mean, was it the healthiest way to deal with the situation? Probably not. But if I was in her situation, I can't say what I would have done. I mean, it didn't exactly seem like the worst idea. I mean, it was a little bit messed up, but geez, the woman's been through hell. My only real gripe about this book was with the consistency. For example, at one point, Millie is angry about doing the cooking, like it's not even her job. Yeah, on literally page 2 of the book, during the interview, it was clarified pretty early on that that would be expected of her. So I'm really not sure where her surprise came from when she did in fact have to cook. She even said that being able to cook was pretty much the only thing she hadn't lied about on her CV. Another example would be when she's talking to Nina about opening the window in the attic because it gets a little stuffy up there. Although during this conversation, she actually narrates about how, if anything, it's a bit drafty up there. After this, Millie seems to proceed with describing the attic as stuffy throughout the book, which we've already established it's not, which I suppose could be explained away by the change of weather, but I just don't feel like enough time had passed during these instances for that to change that drastically. I mean, even the back of the book didn't really seem that consistent with its contents. Like, it states that she only put on one of the white dresses once just to see what it was like. Well, where was I for this? I mean, she definitely put on one of those dresses, but it wasn't just to see what it was like. I mean, I get that it needs to hype up the book and get you interested. I just didn't think it needed to twist events that much to do that. I loved the ending. It was very Aquatofana, and I must admit that it did give me a little bit of a giggle when she was recommended to a friend. Although I did suspect pretty early on that the husband was going to be pretty weird, I did get thrown off that the crazier Nina got. Yeah, I did originally suspect that it was going to be the whole family and maybe they just had a weird kink for torturing and maybe murdering the housemaid. But this ending was better. So, as for the question, would I recommend the book? Absolutely, it was an easy read. It was a fun little psychological thriller that just didn't seem to overcomplicate things. And although I thought the book was going to go in one direction, it went in a totally different way. But let me know what you thought. Did you enjoy the book? Shelley said that for some reason she thought this book was going to be a romance, but she's pleasantly surprised and happy with how it turned out. Millie was just trying to get along and stay on the right path, whereas Nina knew how to do her homework. It turned out Millie was perfect for the job. She also really liked how you got some of Nina's side of the story too. It really filled in some of the blanks and answered some of those questions. She said it was a fantastic book that she would definitely recommend. So next week we'll be discussing Powerless by Lauren Roberts, so don't forget to get your comments and thoughts in by Monday the 20th of November at the latest to be a part of the discussion. You can now do this on YouTube, TikTok or Instagram. The following week we'll be discussing Loved by Kristin and PC Cast. Now don't forget, if you do need a little bit longer to read a book, we do now list the next 4 books down below and on TikTok. That way you can choose what genre best suits you and the time frame to read it in. I thank you all for joining, and if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next Tuesday. Bye.